Welcome to No Options with Ty Gipson, the show where life's toughest trials become the foundation for your greatest triumphs. Real stories, raw conversations, and the unwavering belief that you were built to overcome. Now, here's your host, Ty Gipson.
Hey guys, I hope you have had an awesome day. You know, I'm really excited to be here, and I want you guys to look around my office here. This is a new office, so please understand my piles of art and things that I haven't quite completed in my office. But I wanted to jump on this because I'm super excited about today. I've had some wonderful guests on the show. And, you know, sometimes I have to sit back and go, man, what is the message that I'm trying to get across? And and I was talking to a guy yesterday, and it's kind of funny because, we were talking about just, overcoming adversity and my story and all these things that I've been through. And I never, ever thought that I would really, be out here talking about it because a lot of you guys know my story was I just never really wanted to tell my story. Never thought anybody wanted to hear about it. But when I realized, just by telling stories, sometimes it can help others. And, in this tough world that we live in is, really, we got to lock arms with each other sometimes and just try to get through this together. So today, I really just wanted to kind of to visit with you guys. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about. But one of the 3 steps that I talk about in my topic of, the no options mindset. And the number 1 piece is grow or die. And I want to dive into that a little bit because I talk about it a lot. I talk about, step 1, grow or die. That's what we do. Step 2, hope or despair. That's how we think. And then step 3 is humor or drama. And that's how we talk. And when those 3 align, our mind is very positive. And it kind of takes small steps. I've never been one to, you got to feed me small bites because it takes me a little bit I just got to be honest, it takes me a little bit to digest some of it sometimes. So I feel like that's the best way for me to kind of help explain to you guys as well. So step 1 is grow or die. And I want to kind of jump into that. I'm going to be bouncing around here because I've got stuff written here and but one of the things I really want to start off with, and it's a famous quote, Benjamin Franklin. It says, don't put off until tomorrow what we can do today. We've all heard that, right? But this is but just to dive into that a little bit, these are very wise words, but realize 95% of us, and this isn't my numbers, 95% of us are procrastinators. And it goes on to say 20% of us are chronic procrastinators. So this is a real problem. And I always say, why wait? Why wait? And I'll tell you a little bit of, why wait? Do it now. I got to really do it now. And that is really the way I have lived, honestly. A lot. Talking to my mom, and I was always wondering, why are we talking about it? Let's just go do it. Now, sometimes that's, you got to, think through some things to plan. But more importantly, I'm talking about grow or die. And that's when I say grow, right? The first number 1 thing is, are we going to let this adversity, this wall, whatever's in front of us right now, right? This wall that we're facing, whatever it was we woke up with today, right? Whatever the adversity is that we're dealing with, are we going to let it win? Are we going to grow or are we going to die from it? And when I say die, I'm not talking about death. I'm talking about, the death of your dream or letting a dream go or your purpose or goals, whatever that looks like, right? There's a lot of different things we could talk about there. But I always encourage people, take a small step. You can, when you're faced with something, and this is the way I've always kind of processed it. Please try to follow with me here because maybe the way I process it's not always the way you process it, but I will say maybe you can pick up just a nugget from the way I process it, maybe help others, right? Or help you. But what I always said is find your why. My why is my family, my daughters, my wife, my mother, my brothers, sister, cousins, aunts, you name it, right? Nephews, nieces. I mean, yeah, that is my why. It's my family. And I just always felt like I needed to fight for them. I needed to get through it for them, right? Sometimes it was just showing an example or maybe showing my daughters that, we don't give up. You know, we've had this talk before about, once we start a team, we don't quit. We're going to finish. We're going to do it. We're going to commit. Don't give up on it. Fight through it, whatever that may be. And so the question comes up, why wait? Why wait till Monday to start that whatever workout, to start that working for that new promotion at work? Or why wait? What are we waiting on to go take that class, to whatever that looks like for you? But why wait? Why wait next month? We'll do it next month. Or I'm going to, when our house is paid off, we'll go do this, or all those things. I mean, there's a lot of words we can put right there. But, to me, let's do it now. Let's figure out a way to do it now, because time kills a lot. And so I encourage people, and I want to dive into my story of why, about waiting. And I think hopefully you understand. I was faced as a juvenile diabetic. I had diabetes all these years, and then at the age of 30, I go into the doctor and told, hey, I'm going to have a transplant. I said, a transplant? What kind of transplant? There's a kidney and a pancreas transplant that they're doing some research in Baltimore, Maryland. And really, if we just do a kidney, you've got such brittle diabetes that it's just going to really, I feel like you're going to go through a lot of kidneys. So we really need to look at this. Let's see if you're a candidate. Well, that's great. But here was the thing. After going up there, I am definitely qualified as a 30-year-old to be able to go through this surgery, and, everything's good. Everything's going through. But here's the kicker. There's been 4 of those surgeries, and 2 of them didn't work. So it's a 50-50 success rate, right? And remember, I've got a 6-year-old daughter at home at this time. So I talked to the doctor, and so here's the thing. They said, you don't have to have the transplant, but you're going to be put on dialysis. And dialysis doesn't last forever. And the quality of life is going to be really, really. So my choices were, do I take the risk and go through this surgery, this transplant, that if I get through it, I can have this great quality life with my daughter, and then live my life as a normal human and not on dialysis for the rest of whatever time that looked like. So I had to make a decision. And part of that was, why wait? I mean, I can't wait. So that's where you guys come up with, and you hear me say no options. I didn't have a lot of options at that point. Was I going to live that life, or was I going to take the risk and the chance and do it now so that I could get through this, right? But I'll tell you what, it's hard because I didn't wait and I took that growth approach. I've been able to open a business. I was able to get married. Crystal and I was able to get married. And then I was able to adopt Reese. Good Lord, 2010, Crystal and I had the opportunity to adopt Reese. And we got her at birth. And I'll tell you what, it's been a joy. But here's another thing. You remember me talking about Morgan, my 6-year-old at the time, when I was going through this transplant, right? When I was sitting there making this decision, she was 6 years old. Well, I am excited to tell you that last month, I was able to walk Morgan down the aisle. And let me tell you guys, I had no idea that would ever happen. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you know what? I never really was able to dream. Because honestly, I didn't think I would live that long. I really didn't. I mean, I never, with my diabetes and being out of control, I never really thought I would live to be this old. Or to be able to see Morgan, graduate from college. And for God's sake, to be able to watch her get married and her dream come true. So my hope is that there's on the other side of adversity, whatever it is you're dealing with, there is so much light on the other side. I just encourage you to push through that, and I want to give you small bites. It's always easy to say, hey, go be positive. Go be a positive thinker and things is just going to work out. Well, I will tell you this. If you take small bites, small steps each day, find a way to take a small step towards your goal. Whatever that looks like for you. Take a small step. Take another step the next day and another step the next day. And you will start the momentum. Once the momentum gets started, it's amazing how you will start progressing. And I encourage you, for whatever that looks like for you, to continue that battle. Because on the other side of that wall that looks like there's no way we can get over, maybe a marriage, maybe being able to open your business, maybe being able to adopt a daughter, whatever it is in your world, maybe able to walk your daughter down the aisle. It's worth the fight. I can promise you. Most goals that fail and most people that don't reach their aspirations never truly take a meaningful action early enough. And the key word is meaningful action early enough. You see it right there. You've got to take steps. You can't just sit back and I wish this and I wish that. Take action. Find something small, some small steps that's going to help you to achieve that goal. Grow or die. I mean, it's a very simple words, but there's a lot behind that. And I encourage you, find a piece of paper, find a marker, a dry erase marker, put it on your mirror, something. And I want to tell you my 3 steps again, because I think it's really important. Grow or die. It's what we do. Remember that. Grow or die. Are we going to get better or are we going to let it win? Hope or despair? That's how we think. Are we going to be positive thinkers? And again, these are small, just within a smaller area, right? Hope or despair. It's how we think. And then humor, drama. It's how we talk. Are we going to go around and talk about how negative things are? Are we going to go around and think and be this negative thinker? Are we going to be the victim? Poor me. Why was I chose to have to go through 3 transplants? Why was I chose to have brittle diabetes for all these years and deal with all of this stuff? But you know what? I have a choice. I can push through it or I can give up. But here's the beauty of it, right? And it doesn't cost you a dime. We are all equipped. Every one of us right now has the tools that it takes to push through. And really what you need to go look at is in the mirror, because you have everything it takes. You hear these things, all these great things happen to people. You know what? Behind those great things happening to people are people taking steps for great things to happen. Don't fall in the rut of being a victim and poor, pitiful me, because that doesn't help anybody. Again, guys, I just want to be an encourager of people. I tell people all the time, I mean, I'm not doing this because I'm educated in any, in any kind of, I would say therapy or anything like that. I'm here because to tell you my story. And, I've realized that it's a negative place out there. This world is hard. It's hard. Find your drive, your why, and stay focused on that. I encourage you guys. I hope you have an awesome day. And I hope your dream comes true to be able to walk like I did, walk Morgan down the aisle, whatever your dream is, that you focus on that and you achieve that. Have a great day. Take care, guys. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to No Options. If this episode spoke to you, please take a moment and leave a review. And more importantly, please share it with someone who may need to hear it. You can find more stories, resources, and ways to connect over at my website, tygipson.com. And that is Gipson with a P. TYGIPSON.com. Remember, no matter where you are, your story isn't over yet if you live like you have no options. I'll see you next time.
You know Ty Gipson is an entrepreneur, a relentless survivor. Did you know he's also a powerhouse speaker? After overcoming 3 transplants of juvenile diabetes, he built thriving businesses with one mantra: no options. Ty transforms adversity into action. His keynotes ignite audiences with real-world resilience and 30-plus years of sales mastery. Are you ready to inspire your team? Book Ty Gipson today as your next speaker. You can call 512-944-4780 or head over to tygipson.com. That's Gipson with a P. It's time for your event to share the motivation that is no options.